Hello and welcome to the capacity building training section. I am excited to have you here. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Right about now is 7 p.m. on the dot. And get ready, get set, get prepared to grow with TAP. Hi, my name is Mira Kodeli, also known as the Realty Buzz Live, and I'll be your moderator for today's CBT event. And if you do not know already what our topic is, it is seal the deal. How to close high value clients with ease. Of course, each and every one of us in some kind of way struggle with closing all our sales or meeting all the expectations we have for ourselves. So if you're a realtor or a business owner struggling with this challenge, then definitely you need to be here. Any of your friend that is still outside, still out there, and is yet to connect with us on the Triconna TV, do well to send them a message now, copy and share the link that would be displayed in the comment section for them to get access to it. Also, you can copy the link and share on your WhatsApp status to enable each and every one of your friends have access to join us for this training section. I'm excited to be here and I hope you are too. Welcome and thank you for joining us once again. Right about now, I'll be welcoming the special presence of the CEO of Triconna Real Estate. He is no other than Ambassador Prince Echewo. He is popularly known as the Sabi Investor. And now he'll be giving us a short charge. If you're yet to join us, what are you waiting for? The set time is now. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Thank you so much for that lovely chat. It's always a pleasure to be one of the conveners of one of the most anticipated programs of the month, which is the capacity building training. And what it is certain that at the end of this session, you will definitely receive something to go home with. We always tell people that, whenever you come to programs like this, it's not about what you hear, it's what you practice, what you do after, what you've learned. The information you get from such a program like this is where the transformation comes in. And it's very, very important that we not only come to this event, we prepare ourselves to learn, not just learn, to unlearn and relearn, right? And definitely we're going to relearn. So I and my colleague are just going to be, going through a few things. I basically won't be saying much. I just want to give you a charge. He is the one, the Portaco hookup realtor will be the one to do justice to the topic. But I will just water the ground a little bit, to enable us, have a seamless ride. Okay. So the topic for this CBT session is seal the deal. I love that one so much. Seal the deal. I always tell people that, in sales, you have different segment of sales. You have from the awareness, to, talking to them about your offers, basically creating a good offer for them. And the one that a lot of people like, sales presentation, where they talk and they talk and they talk, I tell people that the most important thing in a sales conversation, the most important thing, right, for you is when you seal the deal. That is the result, right? That is the result of all your hustle, all your bustle. At the end of the day, you should be able to get results, right? And that result, leads to money. What is commission? I tell people commission is the reward you receive for good work. At the end of the day, if you don't produce results, you won't get commission. And commission is the result of work done, right? When you seal the deal, that is the work done. So it's very, very important. And I'm going to be, going shallow into this topic. Maybe some other CBT section, I'll be able to dive deep. So without further ado, I'm going to give you two things before I call the next speaker. I think it's very, very important and will definitely form a very good charge before the next speaker comes in. All right. So I said something about sealing the deal means the end product, the result of your activity, the result of your efforts, right? Which is the commission. And I usually tell realtors something. I say commission does not fall from heaven, it comes from people, right? You want at the end of the day, your hustle should lead to results. Your hustle should lead to people actually giving you money, right? This is why it's very, very important that all your activities, right from the beginning of the sales conversation, should lead to you actually closing the deal, not stopping halfway, you closing the deal, leading them when they should make the next step, when they should make the next move. That is what you're after. And this is very important. And that is where I'm going to be dwelling on today. How to actually get the deal done. how to get the commission, how to get that approval, how to get that money in the account. That is exactly where I'll be hitting on today. So there are two activities that will definitely enable you to seal the deal. Just two activities that will determine the amount of commission you receive this month, this week, this year. Just these two activities. Number one is lead generation. That's the first. Number one, lead generation. You can't miss this. As someone that is looking to produce massive results, as someone that want to close deals in millions, as somebody that want to hit your sales targets, as somebody that want to earn massive commission this year, you should not neglect lead generation. What is a lead, first and foremost? A lead is a signal. A lead is a signal of interest, and it's your responsibility to turn that lead, to turn that interest into money. It's your responsibility. Whatever you do in the pathway or in the process of changing a lead to a paying customer or changing a lead to a transaction done, that is what is important. For example, if I want to sell 100 plots of land today, right? My mathematics will tell me that I need at least 2,000 leads to be generated. And if I'm to close just 5% of that number, I'm going to get 100 plots of land sold. That is the way you should think, right? As someone, I want to close a deal, I want to hit your sales target, I want to collect a commission, right? It is very, very important that you focus your energy on lead generation. You want a situation whereby your sales funnel is always full. Always full. You're always talking to someone, you're consistently pitching to someone, presenting to someone at every point in time. A lot of people don't necessarily lack the skill of selling, but they lack lead generation. They lack the ability to actually go out there and find people that will buy from them. That is the problem a lot of people have. So you want to always you want to always have your sales funnel watered with leads. That is how you remain in business. That is how you be in business, right? It's very, very important. Make sure that your sales funnel is always filled with leads. Okay. So the question is, how obsessed are you with generating leads? How obsessed? What are the mechanisms or what are the strategies I can use to be able to generate more clients consistently? It is one thing to generate clients and it's one thing to generate clients consistently. That is where you want to be. If you want to effectively close sales and hit your targets, right, you need to be able to consistently generate leads, right? It's very, very important. Most people, like I said, they don't lack customers, they lack leads. So I'll close this number one point by saying this. Every commission earner has mastered the art of generating leads. Every commission earner, whether big, whether small, that have done massive results in the industry, has been able to master the strategies of generating leads. It is very, very important. How do you actually go about doing that? Number one, you put yourself out there. Make sure that you're talking to as much people as possible. You don't want to say I'm an introvert. There's no introvert in sales. You have to be in the middle, not an extrovert, not an introvert. You have to be an ambivert to be able to talk to people. A lot of people say, I'm too shy. I can't reach out to people. I can't. No, you have to make sure that you're consistently talking to your audience, right? Talking to people, reaching out to them through various means, be it Facebook advertisement, Instagram, through your content, through physical conversations, going for networking events, corporate marketing. Just put yourself out there. Make sure you're talking to people consistently. Like I said, great commission earners don't lack leads. A lot of the times, why we feel rejected most times as salespeople, because whether you like it or not, it's one of the feeling you're going to experience, right? A lot of people feel rejected because or they suffer greatly from rejection because they don't have a lot of people they're talking to. Imagine someone that has over 1,000 leads that came in through the past 1 or 2 weeks, right? Do you think he's going to be worried about somebody telling him, no, I'm not interested? No. Yeah, because he has other people to talk to. In fact, he's even happy when you tell him, I don't want to buy, because he knows that he'll take this chance to speak to the next person or he'll go directly to the next person. That is exactly where you want to be. That is exactly how you want to perform in the market. Generate leads. Generate leads is very, very important. Very simple. First, generate leads. Second, for you to be able to close deals in millions, for you to be able to become a master commission earner, you need this second thing, very important, which is what? Lead conversion. Now, you've gone from the point of actually generating these leads. Now you need to know how to convert them. You can perform all the lead generation activity, but if you don't actually find a way to close them, if you don't lead them to the point of closing, then all your effort has gone to naught. Like my mentor always say, closing is one of the highest activity or the most important activity that leads to sealing the deal. And lead conversion is all about closing. It's very important. A wise salesman or a wise realtor will convert his leads to customers. That is the goal. That is the goal in the realm of conversion, to convert people to paying customers. Like I always tell realtor, the Midas touch of your business is when you're able to move people through different phases of the sales funnel. When I mean different phases of the sales funnel, I mean from the awareness or from the marketing standpoint to the awareness down to the presentation and where you make them an offer and then where you close them, right? This includes both handling objection and everything, right? The Midas touch of every business owner, of every realtor, of every sales professional is that he's able to move them down the funnel to where they actually become buyers. You can generate uncountable amount of leads, but if you don't know how to close them, you have a serious problem. So a lot of people can have, challenges, or a lot of people can be so good at bringing people, into the sales funnel, basically generating leads, but they are going to have issues closing them. Conversion, like I said, is basically closing. You need to know what to tell your client to be able to bring them to a point of sealing the deal. That is why you're a sales professional, right? You need to be able to master the act of speaking to them emotionally, be able to draw emotion from them. Sales is about emotion, right? Sales is basically the emotion you draw from your clients that will enable them to make a buying decision. So it's very important that you don't take lead conversion lightly, because this is the sole activity that leads to a purchase. So it's very important these two things are setting criteria to allow you to seal the deal. So these are the few nuggets I have for you today. Like I said, I am not the primary speaker for today. I'm just here to give you a charge, basically a snippet, right, on what you're about to expect. Okay, it's very important that we put ourselves or keep ourselves open to listening to him, right? There's a lot to be said. It's my very good friend. Um, I've basically seen what he's doing, the consistency he has put, the dedication, and the effort he has put into his business. And it's something I want every one of you to learn from, right? I promise it's going to be impactful, it's going to be insightful, and definitely life changing. So that's all I have for you today. I promise. I know a lot of people has come to my DM and say, "Oh, when will I actually be a full speaker on this series?" You know, don't worry. I will definitely have my time to shine. But for now, this is the Port Harcourt Hookup Realtor that is going to handle us and take us to the next level. So excited to listen. I'm a fan, and I'm very sure a lot of us will have so much to learn from this session. All right, Miracle, over to you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Prince Echewo, for that beautiful, beautiful, and powerful charge. Of course, I'm sure that we're already excited and get to learn. If there's anything he has said, it is to ensure that you are prepared and ready and positioned for what you're about to hear tonight. So if you're yet to get your pen and jotters ready, please do well to do so and drop a comment. Let us know how you're enjoying this event so far. Drop anything that he said that just stuck to you, whatever highlight, whatever note, just say something in the comment section because we'll be looking out for you. And also, like I mentioned earlier, if you have any friend, any loved one that you believe should be in this capacity building section, what are you waiting for? Copy the link, share this YouTube live to them, and let them gain access to it immediately. All right, now we are ready. I hope you're ready because I am so ready for this. So let's make welcome our guest speaker for today in the person of Mr. Isaac Victor Apobari. So a little bit about Mr. Isaac Victor Apobari. He is popularly known as the Port Harcourt Hookup Realtor, and he's the MD CEO of Avica Property Limited, a real estate firm in Nigeria, a certified realtor and a real estate consultant, financial advisor, sales analyst who is committed in assisting intending realtors and organizations meeting target audience. He studied history and international studies at the University of Oyo and holds a diploma in law from Captain Enichi Amadi Polytechnic, now known as the Port Harcourt Polytechnic, specializing training in self-leadership and real estate marketing. Apobari brings a unique blend of expertise to the real estate industry. His knowledge of market dynamics and property transactions enables him to provide profitable insights. Additionally, he has mentored and vetted successful realtors in and out of Nigeria. With a reputable sales record, he has created a good customer relationship over the years in the real estate industry, with his clients spread globally and satisfied with his services as a professional salesman. Wow, this is quite a portfolio we have here. Now, let us make welcome the one, the only Mr. Isaac Apobari. Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Miracle. That was just an awesome introduction. I'm so pleased to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, I was given the topic seal the deal. Seal, like let's just make it a move. Seal the deal. Okay, that's an interesting topic, and I've been able to coin out a subtopic from this interesting topic. To me, I see the topic to be a command. Seal the deal. Now, before you start sealing deals or closing deals, I believe that there are platforms that are given for um, prospective raters to actually study the acts or the craft of closing deals. So with that, I was able to come out with this topic that I call mastering the art of closing deals. Mastering the act of closing deals. This is what I mean. I mean that for you to be a pro, for you to know the secret in closing deals, you need to master this act. You know that over time you have been making sales, but you have to make sales over and over again, and this will result to you in making a better relationship with your prospect, clients, let's just say it customers. Over time, most realtors are only interested in closing deals, but they are not interested in mastering the act, in committing themselves or learning or practicing the act of closing deals. I have said this over time that there is no miracle in making sales than mastering the act of sales. Mastering the act of sales. For you to make sales, you have to study it. You have to have a clear understanding on how these things are being done. It's not that you sell today and you will not sell tomorrow. Making sales a lifestyle is an act and you need to master it. It's a craft that you need to study. Now, first things we need to consider before taking you deep into this thing is what I call the BCI of sales. The BCIs of sales starts from what I start with B. B is branding. C is communication. I is information. Let's say this again. B is what? Branding. C is communication. Lastly, I is informations. With this BCI, after this class tonight, believe me, that if you practice these things I'm to tell you tonight, you will do much more better than what you have been doing over time. First, let's start with branding. What is branding? I know you have been hearing things about branding, but in this case, let's have a clear view on what branding actually means. Branding is the process of creating and establishing a unique identity for a product, service, or a company. This involves developing a set of visuals, emotional, and cultural association that differentiates a brand from its competitors. and create a lasting impression on its target audience. Simply means for you to brand yourself, you have to have a target what audience, target audience. Now, let me say this. I've been telling most of the sales persons that I've met over time that before you start making sales in any real estate company, I believe you need to understand your capacity as a person. Your capacity in the sense that those that lives around you, people you communicate with, your friends, people you can actually convince easily. Those are the people that can actually trust you first by patronizing you. So I will start by talking to those set of persons that I feel that they can start selling one of our estate, which is Pear Garden at Ipo. At least is at the price of 1 million naira. And it is also open for instrumental what payment. So if you know your strength that you don't really have the capacity as a brand to start convincing those of higher authority for them to buy from you, you can as well start from these peer groups, your peer groups, those you know that can actually acquire these properties. The money you make from these are estate per heaven at Ipo, this money will be used in doing a branding or rebranding you into a better person that the other people that can buy of higher value can actually be attracted to you. You get my point? Now, what do I mean? Branding has to do with what your appearance, the way you appear. Most of the times, people don't really want to identify with you until they see themselves in you. You get my point? People really want to identify with you because it has to get to a point whereby they are being attracted to your person, and these things comes from the little changes you have made over time. I have said this to most people that there are people who actually, before they talk about business, and likewise to the men, the men are actually interested in your wristwatches, they are interested in your shoes, your belt. So if you're going out for a meeting with this set of persons, what they look after is these things. Though you might say these are material things, but these are very important things. They need to be attracted to you. It is branding. Let me give you a few points that I know that will actually help you to build a better brand for yourself. Mind you, people are not actually buying from your company. The first person they are buying from, the first company they are buying from is you being a brand. The way you present yourself, the way you communicate with people, the way you are exposed to information. So these things also helps in building your branding to differentiate you from other raters that they have met. You're not the first and you never be the last. Because after when you're done telling them about your product, there are other 500 raters that also attend, that also meet up to this same client to also explain to them the reason why they have to buy from them. So what actually differentiates you from other of your colleagues, from your competitors, is branding. So let's focus on branding. What are the benefits of branding? First thing about branding is about what I call it. Branding differentiates you. This is one of the important. It differentiates you from your competitors. You have seen some raters that actually talked about their mixture in terms of colors, how they look, how they talk. So, first thing branding does is that it differentiates you from other raters. Why should they patronize you? Why is your own product different from what Mr. A or Mrs. B have shown to this same client of yours or prospect of yours, though prospect? First of all, is difference. Branding helps to differentiate you from your competitors. Secondly, still on branding, we'll talk about value. Branding yourself as a person gives you value, and it helps to make your prospect to see you from another, to have a different perspective of you. uh, it makes you stand some so unique in the sense that it calls out value, it attracts value to you. A well-established rater attracts or increase the value of a company. Now we have seen there's this normal say that they normally say build the youth build the nation. We have seen companies whereby they talk about training, they train their waiters, their salespersons. The reason why these companies are actually training these people, these salespersons, is so that in return, they will attract to the company much value. And as a representative to this company, you have to be in a better position by branding yourself for a better attraction. You brand yourself for a better attractions. You need to be attractive. That increase your value. Okay. The next on the list is loyalty. Consistent branding builds trust with your prospect. Consistent branding builds what? Trust with your prospect. I've said it to most salespersons that there is no amount of sweet words which you will have with your mouth, that's your big mouth, I would say big mouth, that will just make someone that has been saving his or her money over time to just see you on the day one and then just go to that their saving box and give you the whole of their money for you to do what? To make yourself, to glorify yourself, right? There is none. First thing you do is from this brand is all about what? Putting yourself in a level whereby you can be seen everywhere. They are seeing, when we talk about brand, they are seeing how you have been attending to other of your clients, how you have been attending to issues when issues actually arises, which definitely do arises, how you communicate with people, how you relate with your prospect. For instance, a friend of mine said she went to the bank to do a marketing, and while she was communicating with someone heard her from the back and later compliments the way she talks. Like, I love your sound, I love your tone, I love the way you talk, I love the way you sound. And that is part of branding. It is part of branding because even when you think people are not actually seeing you, there are eyes that are actually seeing you. People that wants to buy from you are observing you from afar and even from very close by to you. So this loyalty in branding, your consistency in doing these things makes you more attractive and attract value to yourself as a salesperson. Okay, there's what I call strategies in branding, strategies in branding, or let me say strategies for branding. Strategies for branding. First of all, as a brand, you need to do a thorough research on what you're selling, on the product, on the estate. Thorough research in the sense that people works with information. People works with what? Information. And if you are to make a better sales, I think gathering enough information by doing research will help you close these deals. Yes, this will help you do what? Close these deals. In the sense that, for instance, we have our property at where Ipo, Pearl Heaven Estate, and the price is what? 1 million naira. And Ipo happens to be the host community of the international airport and that of the River State Airport as well. Now, these informations are what you need to do as a salesperson that will enable you to close that deal. What is the benefit of this airport to the person that is buying from this estate? What's the proximity? What's the landmarks? These are the things you look into. What do you think? What do you perceive as a rater that you think over time this estate will attract some certain features that will extend or maybe attract people that are living in the main town to start annexing towards that area? These are the things you do through research. Under strategies for branding, you do what? You conduct a research. Now, research in the sense that understanding your target audience. We have a property at Ipo, and the property goes currently with the price of what? 1 million naira. That's per heaven estate. Now, you want to sell for our company to enable people to buy from this estate. Since I was talking about understanding your capacity as a person, and you know that if someone is to buy this estate now based on the fact that it has a lot of features, over time the property will appreciate. What are the research that you as a person, what are the research you have done so far? What are the people you are expecting to actually buy this very estate from you? For instance, there are reasons why some persons will decide to buy from that estate. Looking at the distance, There are people who reluctantly want to buy from that estate. That simply means you don't have to market that estate to every person you see on the road. For instance, every estate you see that is owned by our company, Triconna Real Estate Investments, we have fixed price on them. And if you understand the economic system of our country today, you will know that it's not everybody that you need to you have to be marketing this estate to. There are target audience for this. There are people that can actually make payment based on installments. So what do? You understand your target audience by conducting a research. Another research you have to do on this part is that you need to try to get informations that will benefit those that will buy, those that we are expecting to buy from this pair heaven estate. What are the plans of the government towards these areas? You need to check through that, conduct a research so that you can have some certain target audience, not for every other person you see on the road, as I said before. Another thing you need to check is implementing consistent branding. Implementing consistent branding. It simply means you have to be consistent in what you're doing, in your looks, in what you do so far. This this consistency in you, make it a lifestyle by applying it on all touch points. Make it a lifestyle by applying on all touch points. Simply means if you're on social media, you take it seriously. If you're on the street, take it seriously at every given time. Make it a lifestyle to showcase your brand as a salesperson. Lastly, on branding, I want to talk more on appearance. Yes, I take this very seriously. And it is very, very important. Over time, I've been telling people that your appearance matters a lot. Your appearance is the first signal that you send to a client, to a prospect. Your appearance in the sense that the way you smell, what you wear, how you look. You get my point. Now, let me just take, for instance, this is Port Harcourt. And there are always a certain set of persons at different streets whereby if you're walking around Port Harcourt Street, you see some men that will give you, sir, excuse me, sir, excuse me, sir. And if you're used to them, you know, these guys wants to ask you of money. If you also apply this pattern of these beggars to your prospect, most of them will reject you. They will neglect you. They will ignore you. So your appearance is very important. You have to be very, very bold. Be so bold to a fault. Be so bold to a fault that people cannot resist you. That is appearance. Now, you don't really, one of the important things is that you're selling products that starts from millions. That start from millions. So you as a person, you have to look like what you want to sell. That's about appearance. Look like what you want to sell. Even if you're not what you want to sell for the moment, let's just leave it that way. But you have to look it. Looking, it simply means someone can actually trust you with their money. Yes. As Africans, there is this perspective we have towards looking rich. I've heard these funny stories that people always say, fake it till you do what? You make it. Fake it till you make it. It's also applicable in terms of sales. Let me be very, very raw. I want to be very raw with you people tonight. Fake it till you make it. In the sense that even if you don't look it spiritually, physically, please, my brothers and sisters, try to look it. Try to look it. Look like it. Because looking like what you think you should be also helps to ease your stress while closing these deals. Now, I was saying something, I was making reference to those in Port Harcourt that brings up hands like this. I say, excuse me, boss. Normally we say senior man, excuse me. And as a salesperson, you're with your flyers and you want to tell them about sales, you're not bringing up your hands, excuse me. These guys will ignore you. They will ignore you. But it depends on how you approach this person, starting from your appearance. How you approach them matters. What about you? Let me just add an example that you just walk up to a restaurant and you you want to close a deal. I'll not take you to the story that I normally tell my people. Uh, like I once did years back. There's a certain spot in Port Harcourt. I will go to that place. People are drinking. What I do, I buy ever water every day. What I do is I just buy ever water and I will sit there. Once I was being recognized by those waitresses as one of the brand ambassadors of Ever Water. And what do? I started getting contact. get in contact. If they ask me, do you drink? Not that I don't drink. I'll just tell them, no, no, it's not my thing. As of that moment, I had no money to afford the kind of drinks they were drinking, but I had money to afford water. But the environment that I was taking this water is very, very important. An environment whereby a bottle of water is going with the rate of 1,000 naira. You get my point. So people actually give you that space. Then communicating with them in terms of businesses at these very locations make it easier for you. So what happened? That's my way of approaching someone. That's my way of approaching someone. Now, I have to come to the same seat whereby someone is eating with my bottle water. Maybe I press phone, start communicating, talk about business. The next thing, the person will key into chatting with me. And over time, we start keeping what maintaining relationship. That came from my appearance. Not that as I went there to go and buy bottled water, I was looking so bad. No, I have to look so sharp. I have to look so sharp. And we have closed deals, numerous deals, and some of us we are partners today. So you meeting up someone, you have to look like what you are selling because people will definitely buy from you easily. If it's about lying to fake it, no problem. Or fake it till you make it, no problem. But the most important thing, try to convince someone to trust you by investing, by buying from you. That's one. That's about appearance. Now, let's just go down to another topic that I've actually coined out. I say this to be another important factor that we need to dwell more on. That has to do with communication. That has to do with what? Communication. Okay, I like we said, we have what I call the BCI in sales. We are through with that of the B, which has to do with branding. Now we are on what? The C, communication. Communication. This is an art that you need to study, you need to practice over time to improve these sales skills. And what do we term to be communication? What is communication? An effective communication is crucial in closing deals. It helps to build trust, resolve conflicts, and drive success. So, mastering the craft of an effective communication. Sorry. Let me start the definition again.
So, you say what is communication?
Yes,
So, we are supposed to define
I'm to
communication.
define communication. Okay, I didn't even define communication, so I just okay. I like I said before, we have the BCI of sales. We are through with the B, what happens to be branding. Now we are on what C, which has to do with communication. Communication is also a skill. Yes, it's a skill that you need to do what you need to study, you need to practice, you need to make it a lifestyle. These are part of the secrets that make salespersons to close deals over time. Communications. It's not about the hi. What comes after the hi or hello is what we are talking about. Communication. What is communication? Communication to me has to do with a passive information that maintains a better relationship. Passive information that maintains what? A better, there are relationships, but in my case, I call it a better relationship because we are talking about business. So we need to focus on a better relationship. And it is from communication that we start building what? Relationship. People feel so okay in buying from someone they trust, not from someone they cannot trust, not from a brand that has not been tested and trusted. So communication is one of the key factors that helps salesperson to close deals. Now, let me just tell you about the power behind communication. And let's start with effective communication. An effective communication is crucial in closing deals. It helps to build trust, resolve conflicts, and drive success. So, master the craft of an effective communication. For you to have an effective communication, you have to master the craft of an effective communications. Let me give you types of communication so that we can actually spread around and then exercise our strengths on this very subtopic. First of all, we have what we call verbal communication. Verbal communication has to do with the face-to-face communication, phone calls, and this verbal communication is what you do visually. And most of the times, also phone calls. Phone calls in the sense that if you have been known over time, someone can as well read you through phone calls. They can understand your tone from the way you talk. Let me just start a little example. We have been used to scammers whereby they will just call you, send me your PIN, send me this, and I will to your bank, calling you from your bank like that. So we have had several experience with this sort of person. When you see them applying that same pattern, you know how to relate with them through phone calls. You know that this is fake without using a true caller. Are we okay? Are we okay with that? Okay, now. So this factor, this type of communication that has to be verbal communication is another factor in communication that you don't need to joke with. While going through the verbal communications, it is important that you present yourself, your brand, in an attractive manner that will make someone to be able to listen to you, to be able to pay attention to you, to be able to buy your time. There are some salesperson that will just walk up to some of their prospects and start misbehaving verbally. You have to be very careful with the choice of words you're using. And in the areas of choice of words, there are people you will meet and you can use jargons on them. That's no big deal. That's the best way you can communicate with them verbally. That's the best way you can communicate with them. That does not necessarily mean that you are talking with someone that is not fully educated, in the sense that the person cannot speak fluently. You're a salesperson, a sales pro. Well done, man. Well done, sir. Then you start bringing up the what we call funny. Let me use the word funny. You start funnying with your client that cannot actually communicate with you verbally. You are joking with your sales. You can't close that deal. You are actually doing what joking with your sales. So you have to communicate in a way that the person will be able to understand you. We don't even mind you stepping so low. Stepping so low is about the money. The money is the most important thing. So stepping so low is not our problem. So step so low, senior man, senior woman, step so low to a scenario whereby the person that we wants to invest in our real estate can be able to buy. You get my point? Step so low in the sense that you can communicate in a way the person can feel related to you, rather, sorry. Step solo in the sense that the person can actually relate with you. The person can actually feel your genuineness, that you're genuine. You have to be very genuine. That's about verbal communications. That's one of the type of communications that we have talked about. Another types of communication is non-verbal communications. Non-verbal communications has to do with your body language. Body language in the sense that you're fidgeting and you want to communicate with someone to buy a property worth over millions. The person is actually paying more attention on you. The person is seeing someone that is not really capable of handling such amount of money. So non-verbal communication has to do with what? Your body expression. Your body expression. Body is also part of communication. You are communicating through your body, with your body. So non-verbal communication is another important factor that you also need to study. You have to study as a craft so that you can close more deals. Non-verbal communication also talk we let me just cite a lazy example of what I call tonality. That's tone. For instance, why making sales? There are people you meet and they don't shout, they don't make noise, they don't shout, they don't really attract. There are people that can talk to you on phone and someone that is close by cannot be able to eardrop or probably maybe listen or maybe pay, even if they are trying to listen to what they are saying, you cannot hear this person. So if you're meeting such a person to be able to convince the person from uncertainty to certainty, sorry, if you're able to meet this person to convince the person from uncertainty to certainty, you have to be in same tune with this person, with this prospect. That someone is bringing their voice so low, that you want to tell the person to buy from you, you are shouting on the person. That person sees that to be an insult. Get my point? You're telling the person, sir, I have an estate, I have this estate, and the person telling, my friend, what can I do for you? Like that kind of tune. What can I do for you? It is left for you. If it is me, I can only tell you, sir, what you can do for me is this. Sir, this is what we have. These are the things we want you to check. These are the things I want you to also see through with us. The person sees that you're actually in line with the person, both in any ways. But looking at a scenario whereby the person is bringing down the tone, that's the way the person speaks, and your tone is way too higher than your prospect. My brothers and sisters in the Lord, that sales you can't see that sales. You cannot seal the deal. It can never work because most of them will say this to be an insult. To be seen as an insult. Or probably maybe let's say you are shouting on them. So you work with them based on their tone. That's part of communication, verbally. Okay, let's go straight to the importance of communication. The importance of communication. The importance, communication is very, very important in closing deals. Is very, very important in closing deals. When I say communication is very important. I don't want to go on the other side, but consistent communication, consistency in communication, regular communication is very, very important in closing deals. So it is an act that you need to do what? You need to practice. You need to study over time using these few steps that we have been able to give this night so that you can actually leverage on them and practice them. We have talked about verbal communications, we talked about non-verbal communications, and these factors are what actually display on our day-to-day lifestyle, rather. One of the importance of communication is that this builds trust. It builds what? Trust. Trust in the sense that communication is a key factor of sending more information. Is a key factor of sending more information. And in the area of communication, you can as well communicate through what? Either through pictures, graphics, whatever, videos. But even if your client has ceased not to pay attention to whatever you have been dropping, whatever you have been saying, but if you have been doing this business, making sales over time, and your client, your prospect is actually seeing what you're doing, let me tell you, it will build trust. Communication on the other way around simply means if there is an allocation on any of the estates, you should be able to do what? Be able to relate more with your clients. Be giving them information about whatever is happening on the estate, whatever project that's actually being carried by the company. You give them information about that. You give them what? Information about that. You don't neglect that. These communications keeps dropping to these your clients. These are the things. This is one of the things that builds trust. Trust is something that it is actually being gotten within a space of long time. It can be a year for you to get trust. It can be a month for you to get trust. It can be a week for you to get trust. It can never be a day for someone to trust you. So constant communications over time with your prospects or with your client build what? Trust. So you don't undermine that. Another importance of communication is it resolves what? Conflict. It resolves what? Conflict in the sense that um definitely there are always times whereby people misunderstands your person as a salesperson. They don't really know when you mean no to yes or when you mean yes to no. So if you are in constant communication with your clients, it makes conflict issues easily get solved. It solves conflict issues as at ease. Constant communications. So communication is one of the two. It's one of the key factors that helps in doing what? Solving conflict. You don't just go meet over time and then maybe let me say you were trying to convince someone to maybe buy a property, one of our properties in this our company, and you just lost contact. It won't surprise you that the person will tell you, "Oh, my brother, I just recently got this from another person. I recently got this from the other person. I recently bought this from your colleague. You were not there. You didn't inform me. So your colleague informed me about this property and I bought." So for you not to be at that space of having conflicting issues with your client, it is important that you be in constant communication. It's very, very important, because communication is what is very, very important. And this also helps to do what? To solve conflicts. It helps to solve conflicts. Communications also drives success and enhances collaboration. Now, I have said this. This is one of the fact. This is one of the things I normally tell some certain persons. You can't actually close deals all by yourself. Yes, as a starter, if you have been able to see someone that has access to people, have access to clients, and you're trying to move yourself from your uncertainty stage to the certainty stage as a salesperson, it won't be bad if you start collaborating. If you start collaborating with other persons, other salespersons, that you know that there is a commission that should be given to you at the end of the whole day. It is important you collaborate with your colleagues terms through communications. You collaborate with them, because this enhances what? Success. It enhances what? Success. So if you start communicating with them and you don't mind sharing your commission with your colleagues, is a fair deal. This also helps, because most of the time on this part, I've been trying to talk to those that are starting, those that have been there, and those that have also closed the deal before, and those that wants to close deal with those they have closed other deals with. So there are some deals whereby you have missed this certain client, and this happens to be your client, but based on miscommunications, the person have started doing what? Communicated of your colleague without informing you. If you know what you can do, you do what? You collaborate with your colleague, with your friends. There is a normal thing that I normally tell some of my friends. I said, see, there are people that are actually what? Gateways. I don't want to preach, hallelujah. I don't want to preach to anybody, but let me say it this way. I have said that there are some certain persons that what? They are gateways towards to making sales. And let me just cite this funny example. Now, for instance, there is an oga, there is the madam. And in most cases, the oga tell you, I will do what? Communicate with what? My madam. I will do what? Communicate with my what? My madam. If I were you, I would love to do what? Have a good cordial relationship. When I say cordial, I have to be very cordial relationship with the madam. Giving the madam what? Constant promises that will make her to open the gate of wealth. Hallelujah. I will make her to open the gate of what? The gate of wealth. In the sense that the gate of wealth simply means we have to close this deal. The money is just inside the gate. So you collaborate with the wife by compensating the wife, or promising what you know you can keep. Are you with me? Promising what you know you can do, what you can keep. There are some promises that you can't keep. Oh. The ones you know you can keep, my fellow raters, please keep that one. You promise the mother, it might be gifts, it might be money, it might be fear in her car, but I never can tell. So if you can collaborate with her, since she has always been the one that Oga will say, let me communicate with madam, she is the only gateway for Oga to do what? Buy that property from you. She is the only gateway. There's no two ways about this. So what you do, and most times, if you know, you say, most people say it's not my thing, it's not my thing, it's not my thing in the sense that if Oga doesn't want to buy, if my client doesn't want to buy, let's leave it that way. Is the person doing me good? No. That person you're seeing there also holds the key of other clients that should have bought from you. So if you neglect that very relationship, you have lost so many. Everybody are actually the chain to what? Making sales. You have been able to sell to someone, and the closure of that deal was successful, and you have started building a better relationship with that person. Expect more deals from that person, because the person has been was satisfied. Are we good? That's one of the importance of communication. Now, lastly, on the importance of communication, it supports decision making. This supports decision making, because while communicating with your client over time, it makes your client to have you in picture. It makes your prospect to have you in pictures rather. And this simply means, why having a picture, and the person is making decision, should I buy from this, or should I buy from this? Should I buy from Mr., or should I buy from Madam, like that? But your consistency as a brand in communicating with your client, with your prospect, helps to support in making better decisions. Another part on these communications was improve your communication. Improving communication. Improving communication is one thing that I take so seriously. Most of the times we have reviews from our clients, and it is not something you need to drop aside. Yes, it's not something you need to do or drop aside. Reviews are very important. What do you do with review? You try your possible best to listen to your clients, listen to your prospects. When I do what do I mean by that? I say listen. It shouldn't be you're the only one communicating, you're the only one talking, you're the radio talking, right? So while doing the talking, also try to do the listening. It's a craft that you need to study. Try to listen to their point of view in what you're trying to project. Try to listen, because listening to whatever they are saying helps you to relate more on how to provide solutions to whatever ideas they are trying to create in the picture of not buying from you. So what actually helps is to do what you listen, so that you can know where to give answers to. You don't just give answers because you have been taught on how to do these things. So my brother, my sister, please don't say anything. I'm the only sayer in terms of these things. I'm the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Sorry, I will not say that. I'm the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So for that reason, there is no other person that can take a better judgment on this. Try your possible best to listen to your prospect. This is very, very, very important. You are not the one with the money. Your prospect is the one that is with the money. So keep quiet. Another thing to check is what I call them, use a clear language, a very clear language while communicating with your clients. I normally tell my people, make it simple and stupid. Stupid in the sense that you have to sound the way you need to sound the real you. Because if you're trying to make what you are not, or make someone you are not, you have lost your originality. That's for you sounding somehow. Now, secondly, the person you're communicating with, you have to be very careful with your choice of words that you're using. Very careful with the choice of words you're using. You don't just say whatever comes to your mind. You are not the part of them all. Whatever you say stands. So try to be very careful whatever you're saying. You don't just use words that can actually trigger anger in the process of you studying the person's body language. So you have to be very careful with your choice of words. If it's about you using pidgin English, no problem. If that's the person's standard. It's about you speaking politely to the person, no big deal. We are all on a mission of closing deals. But you have to study and practice that craft of being simple in your choice of language. In a scenario whereby the person can be able to understand you, make it a scenario that the person can understand you better. The person can actually relate with you. You don't make it tough for the person. Don't sound like Honorable Patrick. So just make it very simple, and don't try to let the person know that you're a first class graduate. So for that reason, their own blah 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 does not really count. So your own blah 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 is the highest. Well done. You're closing. In fact, you're just joking with your business. Thank you. Next thing is this. Mm, Another thing is this. Ask for feedback. Ask for feedback. Most persons, most raters, or I call them intending raters because we practice over time. Most raters will just send to someone's DM a graphic of their business and then a long write up, that me, I met a partner of mine, I met a partner of mine in Abuja. I was telling me, Isaac, you don't take when I read, oh, this is a billionaire, you don't take when I read, oh. I sent him a very long message over, and the guy was telling me, Isaac, wait till you write. Wait till you write. Please do a voice note so that I can be able to listen to what you're saying. Most people are not really interested in reading all these things. So try to create try to drop informations that can relate to you communicating continually with your prospect. You get? Create a cachet information. Create a cachet information that can do what? Relate to people start communicating. How about you posting I've said something over time that one of the best way to make sales is about understanding what your client needs. That's what we have talked about. And this is like this. What if you just walk into a football where they're watching football, for instance, and you don't have an idea on football. You don't know how these things are being done. And you want to start a conversation. Someone that is actually into football, you're telling the person about you want to start a topic on relationship, and this person has been experiencing heartbreak over time. You want to break the guy's heart over time. Don't do that. If you cannot communicate through football, to me, I would tell you go mute. Then look for a way to study what the person actually likes and then communicate with the person through that level. For instance, you have seen a lot of politics. People like deliberating on politics and you're discussing football to that person, and you're not fully informed with the current news that are actually evolving right around the nation currently, and you want these persons to buy from you, why can't you start from the current news, which the one, let me just say the ones you had that money before coming to meet with this client? Look at something that can attract the person to be so able to be attracted to you. Look for something that can do what it doesn't mind if you can be the DSS. Yes, in the sense that you calm down, take a longer while for you to study the person before you start negotiating, talking, or telling the person about your business. It's not about you dropping messages, dropping graphics that most of the times you see read, but there's no continuity in communications. These are one of the areas we fail. And you start wondering, what have I not been making sales over time? You have not been able to communicate to understand what this person actually wants. If that is what the person wants, there are some people that are not really addicted to WhatsApp. There are people that can actually be okay with phone calls. There are persons that are okay with text messages. Yes, because they don't really have time. So they don't really have time because if they go through their WhatsApp, there are about 1,200,000 messages that they have not been able to even try their best to open. But they can open text messages because from the text messages they receive a lot from their banks, right? So what if you try text messages? It's simple, and from there communications can start. You can start communicating with your prospect. Now, regarding what I said in asking for feedback, for instance, you have dropped messages in your prospect inbox and the person is not responding. You have sent messages, the person is not responding. Try your best to be at the door for that door to be open. Be at the door in the sense that see ways to get a feedback, see ways to maybe get access to that person. You don't just drop messages, because the main thing is that we have a lot of properties to sell and people definitely wants to buy properties, or they wants to buy from a trusted person. So you wait for feedback. What actually happens to the message you send to the person? What made the person not to open the message? What made the person not to read through the message? Was the message way too long? Was it too lengthy for the person to be able to communicate, to comprehend? These are things you need to consider. So you wait for feedback. It's very, very important in communication. Lastly, on communications, let's talk about what I call I just make these things very important. Be open minded. Be open minded in the sense that your opinion shouldn't count. Your opinion must not what? Count at all time. At all time. Be open minded. Be willing to consider other people's perspective and opinions. Be open minded. Let your opinion shouldn't be the part of them all. Be open minded in the sense that be open to opinions. You're telling someone to buy an estate at Abarache, and the person is telling you, I don't want to buy Abarache. These are my reasons why I don't want to buy Abarache. And you are convincing, you're still asking or forcing that person that's giving you reasons why he or she doesn't want to buy from Abarache to still go to a chair and buy. The person is telling you, okay, now I don't really have enough money to afford the Abarache. And you know that this person is interested in buying. It is also advisable you suggest the one we have at Ipo, per heaven estate, to the person. In the sense that, let's say maybe the price it might comes in, the reason might be in terms of price difference. You don't have to bend someone. You don't have to force that person to buy from your own. Let me call it. You don't have to force someone to buy from your opinion at all time. To buy from your own what opinion at all time, which is wrong. Try to listen to whatever your prospect is saying, so that I can provide solution to it. Are we good? Lastly, I want to talk about what information. I want to talk about what information. Information is the very, very key. And this is the last point of today's discussion. We have talked about the B, we have talked about the C, now we are on the I, the BCI of sales. Now, one thing we need to know is that information is the very key. Information is the actual base why the universe is still stable. Yes. So, as a salesperson, you don't joke with information. You don't joke with information. It is very, very important. Information encompasses everything as a salesperson. Okay, about information. Factual information is the bedrock in closing or sealing deals. Factual informations. They are factual, they are non-factual information. But as a salesperson, you have to dwell on the factual informations, in the sense that the informations you have given to A will definitely ask B. And if there is no fact in what B is saying that is different from what you said to A, there is a conflicting issue. So, as a salesperson, you have to give your client, your prospect, factual information. Now, let me just put it this way. We have said that maybe one of our estates, we are giving you a perimeter fencing, and there is a gate, where we're giving street lights, and name them as many features you can mention as a salesperson. And you did not actually give out this information as accurate as it sounds, as it actually sound by your company. And at the end of the day, you went behind the company to go and inform your client that there will be a swimming pool. Listen to me, my brothers and sisters. That there will be what? A swimming pool. Funny enough, the swimming pool should have been one of the main factors why this person bought this place. That's one of the reasons why the person invested in the estate. And along the line, the person finally got to the office, and he or she has been told that there is nothing like that. And he or she has paid for this particular estate. For that reason of what? For the sole reason of having a swimming pool. Factual information is not a miracle. It's something that every salesperson have to practice. One of the importance of information is that it helps in sharing knowledge. Now, you get my point. Sharing knowledge in the sense that if you're informed about a certain property or a certain product, and you are to showcase the product to a prospect for the person to buy into your idea of projecting that product to the person. Now, have you wondered if the persons have more information about that product than you? Yes. Have you wondered? So, if you're not fully equipped with informations, if you're not fully loaded with informations, you try not to share all informations to your prospect. And if you're meeting some prospect, those that knows too well more than what you know, for instance, you're talking about Port Harcourt and you want to give someone the history of Port Harcourt, how it started, and you're playing with the years and how things were being done at so point, at so street, at so location, and you have to see that very topic to be one of the interesting topic for you to use and convince your clients. I will beg you with all sincerity, please step down for a state of emergency. Step down. Now, this is it. Now, if you're communicating with your prospect that also shares the same knowledge with you, it is preferable you also give accurate informations that are factual, that can easily relate with the information of your prospect. This helps you to have a bond together. This helps you to build trust. This helps you to have to build trust build trust is very important. People don't really make they don't really just meet you at day one and start buying from you, unless your brand or the brand that covers you have made a lot of track record, have broken records, have made, in fact, have done a lot of things by pleasing people and keeping better records in the society. But in this case, we have said before that people are not actually buying from your company. The first thing they are buying is you as a brand. So you as a brand, you have to represent your company by having full information that will make your people to find you interesting. So getting more knowledge to share with your prospect is one of the key factors. You have to be loaded so that you will not be caught halfway. Hallelujah. So you will not be doing what? Caught halfway. Why sharing this information of knowledge? Lastly, but I will take you to the second. Let's talk about decision making. After sharing knowledge, the next thing was, from the knowledge you guys have shared so far, this helps in making decision. It is the information that you have given to the person that makes up decisions, that makes decision for your prospect. The information that you have given to your prospect is actually a tool that helps your prospect to make decision. The information is basically is all about you giving the person informations that will make the person have more interest in the product you're trying to showcase to the person or to your prospect, for your prospect to actually buy. Informations like, what are the things that the government actually wants, or maybe what are the plans of state government, or let's say federal government, to this community? What are the projects that they are bringing to this community? What are the and the latest information on ground right now that we are all aware of, that this community also have entitlement to? So if you have first-hand information to these things, this also helps you to close deals. To be very frank with you, my brothers and sisters in the Lord, this is one of the most important things. For instance, we have been selling a bar here, and we tell them it's close to the university, it's close to Stella Maris University, it's close to all this university, and the person you're telling this thing does not want to go to school. You're joking with yourselves. Aside that, haven't we heard that maybe the state government is taking so project to this place? Would it be a police station for the sake of security? Would it be hospital? Would it be maybe modern markets? These are informations that you need to give to your clients. Most of the times, your company will not even be in the first place to give you such information. As a salesperson, to be a sales pro, these are the things that helps to differentiate you from the other of your colleagues while making your sales. That sister A is making sales than brother B. That does not mean that there is grace. They will disgrace both of you one day. That doesn't mean there's what there is grace. The whole thing boils down to information. And one of the factors that Sister A might have been using on Brother B is because Sister A has more information on what is actually trending. Information trends as well. What's actually trending, what is actually going to this direction. That's one of the things you have to look into. Are we good? There's one thing here that we need to talk about, being the last thing that I want to bore you or is accountability. Accountability. Information is very, very key, because whatever information you're giving today, it is expected that your prospect will need to hold you accountable for that information. That's why I said factual information. If the informations are not factual enough, don't give it out. Now, one of the reasons why someone needs to come back to you to buy from you is because of what? Accountability. You said this before and these things work. You said there will be a railway, and finally the railway is actually active, ongoing. You said there will be what? There will be so unit of block or whatever, flat of house, whatsoever project from so sources that you can mention. At the end of the whole day, that project will actually put in place. This will make your prospect, your clients, to hold you accountable. They will say you're reliable. We should do business with this person. So give informations that can actually sorry, give informations that can actually make you attractive. Information that can make you to be accountable to every information that you have given to your prospect. It helps a lot. Lastly, I will talk about on information, talk about innovation. Innovation spark creativity. Yes, innovation spark creativity in the sense that if you are an innovative salesperson, that you can actually see through your prospects. It helps you to build a better relationship that will make your prospect feel relaxed with you through innovations. Feel relaxed with you through innovations because this is another medium for creativity. This shows that you are creative. For instance, there are we here in River State we talk about 50 by 100 as one of the size of land, and then we also we have different states have their sizes in terms of explaining land sizes, and you don't really know how these things you're selling to someone that is from Edo State that is aware of 100 by 100, and in River State we sell 50 by 100. So if you're informed it and you're able to play a picture that your client, your prospect that is coming from Edo State can reluctantly buy from you in River State that sells 50 by 100. It is based on how you were able to coin out this information to send to your prospect. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. Based on how you were able to coin out this information to send to your prospect so that they can see through that there are no differences. It shouldn't look like the person start feeling maybe he or she's been cheated. You have taken some part of my some square meters of my land and whatsoever. You try to explain these things to them based on information. Know where to get some certain documents. When you're being asked about titles, when you're being asked about what is different titles in terms of property related, you don't have these informations. Where can you go to chart your property in case you want to find out this property is genuine? You don't have this information. Who are the people that works on your deed of conveyance or register survey plan? You don't have these information. What are the functions of surveyors, function of your lawyer in terms of property buying? You don't have these information. You have to be innovative. You have to know how you can maybe paint these pictures that can make the person feel relaxed. Why buying from you? That's one of the last things I want to talk about regarding information. Lastly, I will say this to you in summary, my brothers and sisters. It was actually nice doing these things with you tonight, and I'm so pleased. And I also pray that the few information I've given to you tonight regarding the BCI of sales will actually work for you. Yes, the BCI for sales, we're talking about branding, we talk about what communication, we talk about informations. If you're able to brand yourself as a salesperson, making yourself attractive to your prospect, you're able to communicate with your prospect consistently, being in communication with your prospect. There are sales that took me 2 years to close. There are sales that took me 2 years. I will not lie to you. I stand not to lie. Hallelujah. There are sales that took me 2 years. There are sales that took me 3 years to close. There's a certain sales that took me, the guy was actually monitoring me way back when I was in school. I was selling cars. Imagine you selling cars, I don't have car. Hallelujah. But now we can sell land and we have land. Are we there? We are landlord. Now, these people, they have their ways of doing what? Following you up. He has been there. So it is from the constant communication, sorry, it's from the constant communication which we had over time that enables us to close deals successfully. That I was selling cow before and I later stopped did not stop him not to patronize me because I'm not selling land. I'm selling for an estate. So our communication over time, over 2 years, 3 years, has made us to be able to build trust that we can do businesses with each other. No salesperson has ever got into that attractive heights without mastering the arts of sales. No salespersons. Sales pro, give them the titles you can give to them. They have never gotten to that attractive height, the height whereby we all are attracted to, the height whereby we are all looking up to, without mastering the act. And this act is what we have discussed tonight. And we have discussed branding, we have discussed communications, and we have discussed information. Mind you, don't joke with this BCI of sales. Thank you. It was actually an amazing moment to be here tonight. Wow. As your pastor in sales, I believe this few BCI has been used as a tool of the anointing to liberate a lot of salesperson tonight. Wow, I'm so happy. I would love to be here if opportunities be given to me some other time. And at this point, I would like to tell you all thank you for bringing up yourself out and then to listen to us tonight. And also, thank you to this wonderful platform, Triconna. You guys are amazing. At this very point, I need to hand it over to our beautiful, gorgeous, good looking lady, Miracle. Thank you. See you some other time.
Wow, that was such an insightful training. Is it just me that's getting hot in here? And I don't mean your Port Harcourt heat though. It is the value that was dished out gradually in this live session. Thank you so much, Mr. Abubari. We learned a lot. I, for one, learned a lot. And I'm trusting that the rest of us enjoyed his training section. So if you have any question, quickly drop it. We'll be responding to you in the live chat. Drop your question, drop your comment. If there was also anything he said that just stood out for you, please quickly drop it in the comment, because who knows, somebody else is also going to get value from what you have to say. And at the same time too, we'll be having this your comments as our testimonials that would make up for the next CBT session. You know that we try as much as possible here at CBT to impact the life of realtors, business owners, investors as much as possible for free. So the only thing you can do for us is spreading this word as much as you can. All right, let's have your questions, let's have those comments, let's have your insights in the comment section. Mr. Pomari will be there responding to all your questions. So don't hesitate to ask them, regardless of how little you think they are or how relevant you feel your questions are. Because at the end of the day, we are here for you to learn how to seal those $1 million deals with ease. All right. So we'll be in the comment section waiting and expecting your question. All right, we have come to the end of the capacity building training section with the topic seal the deal. Yes, I had such a beautiful and insightful training today, and I trust that you did too. Like I said earlier, let's have your questions, let's have your comments, let's have your testimonial. And for those of us that have been attending the CBT live, even if it's not just this training, previous trainings that just stood out for you, you can share your experience in the comments. And for those of us that are joining us for the first time at the CBT live section, you're welcome. We're glad and we're excited to have you here with us. The CBT live section is proudly sponsored by TARP, which is the Triconna Association of Realtors platform. This is the arm of Triconna that focuses on our realtors, grooming them, training them, teaching them all they need to do to make impact and how to close multi-million deals with their clients. So in our community, we teach you, grant you access to our network of high value. Here in our community, we grant you access to our high network of real estate consultants and experts. You have access to the Tricona library, as well as access to information as regards our property. Also, you earn high commission once you close any deal with us. I mean, what how best can it get than this? You have access to information, you have access to knowledge, and you have access to close those deals you want to make. So if you're interested in joining the Tricona Association of Realtors platform, the link of the form to fill will be in the live comment or the live chat. So do well to check it out. Register is a very short process. We just want your details so that we can have you as exclusive realtors on Tricona Association of Realtors platform. All right, that's it for today's event. I'm sure you had fun. I had fun. And once again, I remain Mira Connelly, also known as the Realty Buzz Live, and it was such a pleasure having you today. See you on the next one, guys. Have a good night.